Your team is busy, really busy. Meetings back to back, emails flying, projects moving. Everyone's working hard. But the question that no one's asking, are they doing what's actually matters? Welcome back. I'm Dr. Lisa. And today we're talking about question 5 of the 7 mindful questions. What else should I be doing? And what is essential? The two questions that separate motion from progress. The problem. Here's what I've learned in 30 years of leadership. Most teams are drowning in motion and starving for progress. They're in meetings about the meeting, they're updating the update, they're reporting on the report. Everyone's busy, no one's questioning if busy equals valuable. And here's the killer. The urgent always drowns out the important. Your team is responding to the fire alarm while the foundation cracks beneath them. They're fixing the typo in the email while missing the strategy flaw in the entire project. They're perfecting the presentation while ignoring the data that says pivot now. Does that sound familiar? Here's why this happens. Busy feels productive and it feels like progress. It feels like leadership. But feelings aren't facts, and the data is brutal. Studies show that 80% of team effort produces only 20% of the results, the Pareto rule, which means your team is spending most of their time on work that doesn't actually move the needle. That's not a time management problem. That's a clarity problem. And question 5, what else should I be doing, of the 7 mindful questions, is how you fix it. So how do you get your team to stop drowning in busy and start focusing on the essential? You teach them to ask 2 questions, systematically, consistently, and strategically. What else should I be doing? This question opens the aperture. It breaks the tunnel vision. When your team is heads down executing, they lose perspective. They can't see what they're missing because they're too busy doing what they're doing. Human doings instead of human beings. What else should I be doing? Forces them to look up, scan the horizon, to consider, what am I not seeing? What am I avoiding? What should I be doing that I am not? This is the question that catches the missed opportunity before it's too late. Question 2, what is essential? This is the filter, the ruthless prioritizer, not what's important. Everything feels important, not what's urgent, because everything feels urgent. Essential. What is that one thing that if we do it well, makes everything else easier or even unnecessary? That's the question that changes everything. Because when you know what's essential, you can say no to everything else without guilt. You can delegate the good so that you can do the great. You can stop optimizing the 80% that doesn't matter and focus your team on the 20% that does. So here's how to run a team reflection process. We're going to make this real for your team. Step 1, create reflection space. Schedule 10 minutes at the end of every week, like today, Friday, non-negotiable. This isn't bonus time. It's the most strategic 10 minutes you'll spend. Ask the questions out loud. Go around the table and everyone answers, what else should I be doing that I'm not? What is essential for me this coming week? No judgment, no fixing, just listening. Step 3, notice the patterns. If 3 people say, I should be planning ahead, but I'm just reacting, that's not a coincidence. That's a system issue. Step 4, protect the essential. Once someone names what's essential, your job as leader is to protect it. Shield them from noise. Give them permission to say no to everything else. And step 5, follow up the next week. Last week you said X was essential. Did you do it? If not, what got in the way? Accountability without shame, curiosity without judgment. The simple process, 10 minutes a week, will transform how your team works because you're not just managing tasks, you're cultivating strategic thinking. You're teaching your team to separate signal from noise. The science, research on attention and productivity shows that humans can only hold about 4 to 7 items in working memory at once. It gets worse when you get older. When your team is juggling 4 to 7 things, they're not juggling well, they're dropping balls. And usually they're dropping the ones that matter. The question, what is essential, literally helps the brain prioritize. It activates the prefrontal cortex, the part that does strategic thinking, instead of the amygdala, which just reacts to urgency. The soul. But here's the deeper truth. Essential isn't just about efficiency, it's about alignment. When your team knows what's essential, they're not just productive, they're purposeful. They know that their work matters. They know where they're going. They know why it's worth the effort, and that changes everything. Science-backed, soul-supported. Look, your team isn't failing because they're lazy. They're failing because they're too busy doing everything to focus on anything. The fix isn't working harder, it's working smarter. Ask, what else should I be doing and what is essential? That's question 5 of the 7 mindful questions. I'm Dr. Lisa, and thanks for being here.